Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Gemini in mid-April 2021. What's going on, Gemini? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. Gemini, wherever you are in the world right now, hope you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love. And just a quick little apology to you guys and everybody else. I'm doing it for all 12 signs. This series is coming out just a tad later than I intended. I recently took on a new job, so getting acclimated to that new job it took a lot of energy for me. So when I was originally scheduled to record last week, I just really did not have the brain function for it, and even over the weekend I had to really recharge myself. But second week on, I feel a little bit better to come and do these messages for everybody, so that is where we are. Thank you for your patience, Gemini. Alright guys, on with the regular spiel. If you want anything from me, Gemini, it's already in the description box. Timestamp is down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading with me is down there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, give you a handy dandy link down below as well, okay? Let's see what your messages are, Gemini, for mid-April. For Gemini, what are the messages for Gemini in mid-April 2021? Please show me. Messages for Gemini in mid-April 2021. Thank you. Okay, take that one and this one too. Interesting. So these are both inside positions. I wonder if we're having a little bit of a thing. You know, for the fun of it, I think we're going to keep them inside position and flip them both like that. Interesting. Okay. So Father of... Geez, don't blank. Father of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Empress energy, secondary major for Taurus and Libra. Could be dealing with any of those signs. You don't have to be. Ten of Pentacles over here with the Hangman side position. We'll talk a little bit about side position as it comes up. So, what do we have? I'm getting this word destitute. I don't know in what way it applies. Some of you could be scholars. Father of Swords. You could be studying economics, something like that. You could be working with a community of people who don't have much, something like that. But that's, you know, just a bigger oversight and bigger all-encompassing and something. It's not going to hit for most of you, I don't think. But I do get this sense of well run dry, well being tapped into, and it's sort of like an attack. Okay, so the first part, that's for some. It doesn't have to be even relative to you at all. But this second part, I think, is going to hit in several of your lives, but, you know, in different intensities. I'm feeling an attack coming from this Father of Swords energy. And it is in partnership with or against an Empress energy. Meaning, if this was sort of an embattled family situation, friendship situation, you've got two people teaming up in order to get something out of another person or set of people, or you've got one person who's kind of sneaky. No, I shouldn't say sneaky. They're very clever in how they go about trying to hurt another person, trying to hurt a situation. I'm feeling something very stable and of value coming from the Ten of Pentacles. Could be actual money, could be dollars in the bank, okay? It could be a business, property, could be family, you know? So we value family, we value our social interactions with people, so it could be you know, a war of words between brothers and sisters, parents and kids, you know, in-laws, whatever. But there's something here that I feel one side wants to dismantle, or it is their job to dismantle it. This is their job. So sometimes the Father of Swords can represent a lawyer or somebody who works within the law, works within family practice, something like that. But I feel this energy here, this Father of Swords, is very intense. You know, this owl. Those are some very intense eyes, yeah? And a sword can be a defensive weapon or it can be an offensive weapon. So that could also be at play here for some of you, you know, this idea of maybe going to court or maybe in arguments between two sides of an issue, even outside of court, you know what I mean? So somebody can be on the offense as well as on the defense. Does that make sense? Really wants access to this Ten of Pentacles, yes? And we get that because there's the rainbow color as on the sword as well as within the Ten of Pentacles, right? So there's a desire to have access to or to dismantle the Ten of Pentacles. Now, I'm getting gag order or some type of arms, hands tied thing coming from the Hanged Man energy. Secondary major for Pisces. I don't know if I mentioned that. You could be dealing, don't have to be, all that good stuff. And side position is, it can go either way, is what this feels like. Or, you know, it could go either way / unreliable. Meaning whatever's here could be individuals in the Empress or the Hanged Man energy, could be one person, could be a group of people. And what I'm sensing is can go the other way, meaning this hanged man energy can align with the Father of Swords or go against it. The Empress can align with the Ten of Pentacles or go against it, whatever that means. So if this was an entity, Ten of Pentacles, a business, property, or something like that, there's a potential that the Empress can want to protect this or has the ability or the desire to, very much similar to the Father of Swords, want to destroy it, dismantle it, gain access to it. This is a very convoluted situation many of you Geminis are in. Some of you it is heavily tied to law, whether it's officially filed in courts and with judges and lawyers or something, or if we're talking about karmic law, karmic justice, karmic lessons, that's more universal law, which really has nothing to do with physical law, okay? Wherever you are, many of you, you know, as is the way when I do Gemini readings, your energy more than other signs, and I guess it kind of falls into your archetype. Your energy more often than not, Gemini, falls 50-50. So some of you are here, some of you are here. Some of you are kind of in between the two, or you're standing on the outskirts, not really being involved. Wherever you are, Gemini, this situation is dicey. There's a lot on the line that you could gain or lose. There's a lot that other people can gain or lose as well. The intention of the Father of Swords comes through clearly as get the job done. If the job is to protect, that is what the Father of Swords, King of Swords, wants to do above all else. If the object of the game is to destroy, dismantle, take over, this could be like a hostile takeover, I don't know. You know, it could be anything. If that's what this person has been tasked to do, hired to do, or wants to do of their own free will, that is what they're focused on. Father of Swords is a highly focused energy, highly focused person, period. This is somebody who can spend hours going over details, reading over documents. This is somebody who, again, a tactician, somebody who gets a game plan together and has contingencies in plan. If this doesn't go right, then we'll go to phase 2. If phase 2 doesn't pop off, then I got another thing up my sleeve. There's just like this, you know, if this was about law and litigation and courts, this is a person who's like, what's that thing called? Will appeal. When you don't get the result that you want, appeal. When you don't get the result that you want from that, appeal. It's just like this person, that's what they do. They're like a dog with a bone. So whatever they've been tasked to do or what they choose to do of their own free will, they will not let it go. Now, for some of you, as it's paired with Empress energy, this could be a family member of yours or a very powerful feminine energy. Doesn't have to be a female, but it can be a feminine energy. And because it's actually Father of Swords and Empress energy, you might be dealing with someone who has like kind of an androgynous vibe, or they fluctuate between those two polarities, yes? So they do have days where they're incredibly feminine or incredibly masculine. Not necessarily in how they look. For some of you, that's just like, to know who you're talking, you might be like, I think it's this person. For some of you, they literally look androgynous or, whatever. But it's more speaking to a broader group of you. This person can turn on the aggression, turn on the compassion, turn on the fireworks and the boisterous attitude and explosive language and be very, aggressive in their decision making, or they could be soft and wait and show patience, show compassion and care and nurturing, so they can go back and forth between those two polarities. Very interesting, whoever that is. Could be you. Over here, for those where it's like law in the courts, or it's like highly, I suppose, technical with like banking systems and like trusts and hedge funds and all that type of stuff that I don't understand too well, if at all. You could have some, I don't know what you would call them, but if you have a lot of money or something of great value, you might have it well hidden. And that could be to the frustration of this person over here. You could have assets locked away. You could, like offshore accounts or some shit like that. Dummy corporations, all these like big business, big economic things that, again, usually, if not always, go over my head. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take this tarot reading and like say, okay, now I need to move my money here because I watched some person on, no. But there is this idea that whatever is of value could be shifty, like literally hard to find. This person over here is on the hunt with a paper trail. They're trying to find out what's going on over here, and they're coming up empty. And then this is frustrating this person. They know something of great value is here. They cannot find it. So this is quite a mystery. I actually just want 2 cards, maybe even just 1, because that was a lot to go over. But let's see what else is happening here. At least 1 card, please. What else is happening here for Gemini? At least 1 card. I don't want to go to 3. At least 1, though. Clearly at least 1. What else is going on here for Gemini? Please show me. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so somebody feels poor. And look where I placed it. So if this was a battle between family members, business partners, if this was a hostile takeover, corporation to corporation, whatever, either side feels like if I lose or if something goes not in my favor, I'm going to end up in the poorhouse. 5 of Pentacles. I'm going to end up on, what's that called? Skid Row. Now that could be very literal. Like, if this thing doesn't go my way, I lose my house, I lose my assets. That could literally be what's happening for some people. For others, it's a state of mind. It's not, let me rephrase. How are we saying this? For some, it's literal financial or material resources. In other cases, it's like a status thing. It's that how you think people will view you will change to, they see me as poor, they see me as less than, something like that. A little bit of pride in there, just a little bit, but this is hanging in the balance. Like I apologize if none of this has been your message, Gemini. I suppose count yourself lucky. But this feels very much like an influx tug of war thing. And it's undecided, or it's still, there's like still this like fighting it out. Like neither side is really giving it up. Both sides are trying to implement certain approaches and different tactics, different approaches, things like that. And wow, it's really interesting. Energetically speaking, in your real life, I'm sure it's not that interesting. I'm sure it's quite a headache and it's super stressful, right? So let's just get a card of advice, because again, this was a lot. I did spend a lot of time talking about those initial four. So what's the advice you have for Gemini here regarding the situation? What is the advice for Gemini regarding the situation? Please show me. Card of advice for Gemini. The World. Okay. Now, I did use the word karma earlier without really any card of karma being on the table, but it shows up here with the World. This is secondary major for Capricorn. It could be dealing with a Capricorn, don't have to be. Also, sometimes the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius could be dealing with any of those signs. You don't have to be. World, I feel, Gemini, more than anything, is talking about progression. It can talk about endings and, letting one thing go. One door opens and one door opens and one door closes, thank you, and another one opens, thank you. Jeez, I had that backwards. Anyway, so there is sort of like this, it is what it is. I hate that phrasing, but that's kind of like the vibe. It is what it is. There isn't much intervention that very interesting, very specific. How are they phrasing this? There isn't much a fearful individual can do to change this outcome. There isn't much a fearful individual can do to change this outcome. Now, fear doesn't mean cowering in the corner. It doesn't mean running for the hills or like shaking in your boots. Like, it doesn't have to be that type of fear. The fear that I think they're trying to convey here is not having control. Because, Capricorn energy talks about control related to Saturn, right? We want to have influence. We want to have dominion. Yeah. And we humans on this earth, some of us, not all, some of us have a grand idea of ourselves that if we have control from A to Z, from sun up to sundown, if we control everything, life will be peachy keen and nothing will go awry, and we are in the driver's seat of our destiny at all times. World card is a challenge to that. It's a challenge to that person or someone in a very similar energy who is afraid to let go. They're afraid to lose. There's many adages about losing to gain or losing to win. Lose the battle, win the war. Something as simple as that. There's someone in this situation who doesn't accept losing or doesn't accept not having control, period. They refuse it. They hate it. It makes them feel like this, poor, weak. Again, it was about how other people will see me. Other people will see me as poor. Like, okay, let's say it that way. And then we're going to close out. Again, I did mention this before, hostile takeover and like corporate buyouts and things like that. Let's say, no slander. I'm not trying to hurt, or say anything, but let's say mega corporation over here, that's a worldwide, a franchise of burgers. Okay. We can put any one of those big old burger joints in this slot. And let's say they were facing a lawsuit about whatever. And they lose, right? They have to pay the injured parties $10 million. Literally think about it. What is $10 million to the number one or even the number two burger place, burger joint? What is that? In their grand scheme of financial doings, it's not really a loss. It's not going to cripple their business. It's just going to make them look bad. That's all. And, I might be making it trivial or I might be downplaying it. That might be very serious to you or serious to someone else because, maybe you work for them. Or maybe you work for another corporation that's dealing with something similar. Or maybe it is your corporation and you're at the head and you're just like, Jay, screw you. It means a lot. Whatever. That fear of losing the battle and not being aware of or keeping a mind on the war. You're not going to lose the war if you lose this $10 million suit, big box, big, burger place that's international, like practically on every continent except Antarctica. Do you understand? You know what I mean? So, whatever. I'm not going to get into it, but like that's what this feels like. It feels like somebody who will not lose the war, but does not want to lose the battle either. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Gemini, that's your reading for mid-April. If it did make sense, if it did resonate with you, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. I love reading those. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed before. Gemini, if you want to get at me for a personal reading, you can find that information down below in the description box, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.